I will now go over Ross Lesson 52. Beginning with 52.1, causal clauses. The cause or reason of a main action of the sentence may be expressed in several ways. Most obvious way is using the particle ki in the sense of because. For example, in Genesis 3:14, ki asitazo, because you have done this. And then the punishment follows. So that's giving the reason why you're going to be punished. Number 2, a circumstantial clause introduced with a vav disjunctive. Now here the text is a little bit garbled in the smaller screen, so let me go to the Hebrew text itself in Genesis 15 and verse 2. Ma tihieli, what can you do for me? Va'anoki holek ariri. And I am walking childless. Literally, what will you do for me? And I am walking childless. But what it means is, what can you do for me since or because I am walking childless? Again, it garbles on the screen here. I think if you went full screen, it would look just fine. But anyway, that's a circumstantial clause. Again, the word translated since is the second clause, since I am walking childless. And then you have a causal preposition plus an infinitive construct. A word like ya'an, because of. Because, and then you have hit rug lezka elai, because you of your raging unto me, or raging against me. Here you have a hithpael infinitive construct, subject of which is the suffix ka, because of your doing that. Well, anyway, ya'an is another way to say because of, giving a cause, a causal clause. Or you can use a causal preposition plus a noun clause. Again, ya'an can mean because and be followed by a noun rather than a verb. Ya'ana sher asita, because you have done this. Again, ya'an can be causal. Move on to 52.2, special usages of ka. Typical translation is as or like, but the preposition ka has several other values. And so here are some of them. One is approximation, about. Vayeshavu sham ka eser shanim. Here you have yashav, to dwell. They dwelt there, ka, about, around, and then it says 10 years. Or ka sometimes has the sense of a concession. Vayahi ka da barah el Yosef. And it came to pass, which you can get away with not translating at all. And then it says, if you translated it as or like, as she spoke to Joseph, but in context what it means is although she spoke to Joseph, Although she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her. Is the further context that gives you the meaning here. And so that would be a concessive use of ka. Sometimes asher can be translated because, especially with ka, asher lo yamata, because you did not listen or you did not obey. Asher by itself, but especially ka-asher with the preposition la attached, attached to, can give you that sense. And then norm, according to or after. Vayakom Yonah ve Yolek el Nin Neve Kivdar Adonai. And Jonah arose or initiated an action. He didn't necessarily get up anywhere. He initiated an action and he went to Nineveh. And then you have ka, according to the word of the Lord, in the sense of just as God told him, but according to. So their ka is, again, you could translate it as and kind of make sense of it, but the sense is according to. So anyway, that's some of the basic usages of ka in addition to as or like. And finally, section 52.3, some common usages of the conjunction va. Now by now it should be clear that the conjunction va has many translation values, and being the most common, and advanced grammars like Williams Syntax or Watke O'Connor or Giron will give a more complete lists of the possible usages of va, but here are the usages that appear frequently. Items 1 through 4 are more common than items 5 through 9. And so the most common is coordination, translated and. But then if you're making a sharp contrast, it can be disjunctive. Marking a break in the sequence of a narrative may introduce parenthetical material. If it introduces parenthetical material, it could be translated now. With circumstantial clauses, it can be translated while, or sometimes because, or although, or but. There's all kinds of different disjunctive translations, or for a new beginning, now. So we've seen some of those in the past. Sequence, above consecutive plus a preterite or a perfect, expresses narrative sequence. And then could be a way of doing it in that construction. So then, or even consequently. A verb with a vav consecutive may be translated as a subordinate sometimes, even when, as we saw. And then sometimes you can have purpose clauses, in order that or so that, and so on and so forth. But then here are some other ones where he gives some new examples. Explicative. The Lord whom you seek, even the messenger of the covenant. Ha'adon asher atem me bakshim u malak habarit. The Lord whom you are seeking, notice the PL participle without the dog H because of Ski-Man-Levy rule. But anyway, the Lord whom you seek, even the messenger of the covenant. Now this can come into play in certain exegetical and even critical introduction issues. Now this is Aramaic in Daniel 6:29, but the vavs in Aramaic work similarly to the vavs in Hebrew. And this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. And the question is, what is this vav? And in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. And it could be a vav explicative, that is explaining who we mean by Darius. The reign of Darius, that is, if it's explicative, the reign of Cyrus the Persian. And this fits a theory that's been put forth by D.J. Wiseman, that Darius the Mede in Daniel is none other than Cyrus the Persian, and that this verse, using the vav explicative, is actually identifying the two. Now, it turns out that this is similar to the use of chi in Hebrew, where chi can mean even in the explicative sense as well. Then there's the emphatic use of vav, meaning even or especially. Vehamelech Shlomo Ahav Nashim Nokrikot Rabot Va'et Bat Paro. And King Solomon loved many foreign women and the daughter of Pharaoh, but here it means even, or in this case especially, the daughter of Pharaoh. By the way, the subject looks like it's pending case, and as for Solomon, he loved many foreign wives. Another way is say in addition to, which would be another interpretation rather than emphatic. Accompaniment would be in addition to, with. Ve'et ha argaz, ve'et akavare ha zahav. Part of the sentence is missing, but you have the direct object marker, the box, and then this et is probably the va along with or accompanied with the mice of gold, the golden mice. In this case, it's the box that has the golden mice, but it's again, it's accompanying that is the vav, and therefore it can be translated with. Again, put in the ark on the cart along with the box containing the gold mice. Then another translation of va can be then. When you eat of the forbidden fruit, ve nifkahu einekem, and your eyes will be open. But it's giving a what will happen next. You'll do this and that will happen. Actually, it's probably causal. Do this, and as a result, probably result cause, your eyes will be open. But it could be taken as simply then. And then ninth and finally in this list, also, or the adjunctive usage. Ve sha'alilo et ham malukah. Here it's talking about when Adonijah requested Abishag as a wife, and Solomon's reaction is this is the equivalent of asking for him the kingdom, and so also you're asking for him the kingdom. It seems to be the idea here, and what you're doing in the one case is also simultaneously doing this other thing. That's an adjunctive use, translating Vav as also. So anyway, that's the grammar of lesson 52.